Welcome back, guys. I've got Hill back on the podcast with the gym starting to actually go up. We can actually see the steel starting to go up now. I wanted to bring her back on and talk about a few things, get her perspective on a few things that hopefully could help some people kind of understand more her side of things, and especially, you know, if you have a spouse that you work with and own businesses with, it'll definitely be beneficial. So thank you for coming on, babe.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you would actually be an entrepreneur? Like, was that ever something that crossed your mind
No.
before we were together?
No. I didn't even consider it. I don't think I had anyone really close to me growing up that was doing that wasn't working for someone else. So I think I had one friend whose dad had rental properties, but it was in addition to his regular job.
Regular W-2 job.
Yeah. Nope, it never crossed my mind. There was nothing I thought I knew enough about to start a business doing it. So
Because you went to school for biology. I mean, what was your
Yes.
goal with that? For the person that does not know.
I wanted to be like a researcher, like particularly like genetic testing and stuff was kind of like what was interesting to me. So I've always thought I would like work in a lab and just do research. Like that was just really, those were my favorite classes in college, like having like petri dishes of stuff, and I could come in on my own time when no one was in there and check the results and record it. And, you know, I like to be alone. So that was like my favorite part.
So, I mean, once we got together, you were obviously still in school, but, you know, what made you want to basically, because you only have like, what, 4 credit hours left?
3, I think.
3 credit hours left for a bachelor's degree in biology. But why did you push away that or any of your other potential dreams to chase my dream? Because that's what it was. You never obviously wanted to own and operate a restaurant. That was obviously my dream and my goal. So what made you decide to go all in on that?
Well, I mean, part of it was I wanted to help you get there because I knew right away, like from meeting you, how like passionate and persistent you were about the things that mattered to you. So I wanted you to get the chance to do that because I knew it was your dream. And also, I mean, being a researcher wasn't really my dream. It was just what I thought I would do as a career. I think what I really wanted more than anything was to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, well, best case scenario, this is as close to being a stay-at-home mom as I'm going to get. You know, I might be able to control my schedule. Like, you won't need me forever. Or if it doesn't,
In the business.
If it doesn't go well, then I'll just go back to what I was originally doing and finish my career or finish my degree and do that instead. So it felt like a no-brainer. I mean, it wasn't. It was risky, but at the time it really didn't feel risky because, you know, we always said, like, we might as well do this now when there's no one counting on us.
Right.
We both were used to working all the time. And I mean, I was used to being broke because I was broke in college and, you know, so it wasn't like scary really. I was just like, worst case, we'll just start over. Like,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we knew it was a big risk, but we didn't feel like, we were risking everything we had, but we just didn't have a lot.
mm-hmm.
So we were, you know, may as well just go for it. And we kind of put it as, at least for me, it felt like we didn't have any other option as far as we either did this and did it to the best of our abilities and we made it work, or we would have to basically backtrack and do something that, well, for me at least, definitely not what I would want. And for you, it would have felt like a step back being our own boss and then going to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
At least that's how it felt for me. We didn't have a choice. We had to make it work.
Well, yeah, we didn't have, there was no one that would have been able to bail us out at the time. Neither of us had.
Yeah, we would have lost we did have, I mean, we owed everything on it, but we had a house and 2 paid off vehicles. So, I mean, we were risking those things.
Right.
And we definitely didn't want to have to go back to living with a parent or anything like that, being freshly married and everything. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, when we got that first loan, we were 22 years old. We weren't even married yet.
Right.
When we got the loan.
Yeah.
Because we were getting married later that year.
Yeah.
But we had to start that whole process, get the loan, and start, lining up equipment and all that stuff, and leading up to our wedding.
Yeah.
Do you think that, I don't know how I really want to word it, is it taking that big risk early, do you think it made it easier for us to take all the other risks we've taken up till now?
Yeah.
I mean, just, because a lot of people, if, they don't take a big risk till, they're in their 30s. But, I mean, we took it at 22.
Yeah, I think it helped like build our confidence that we would always be able to figure it out, and that it was up to us. Because we really didn't have a lot of people to like lean on in that. You've talked about this before. Like, we had to just listen to podcasts and read books because we didn't have the knowledge ourselves and we didn't have the connections. So. Yeah. I think, every step of it, we've made more connections and networked more and learned more along the way. So I think, looking back at what we risked, I think is an easy way to want to do it again, because you're never going to lose. And we did not have this mindset back then, but now we know that there is no losing. It's either it succeeds or we will learn something that will help us succeed in the future. So
there's always something to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where what would you pay for certain education or certain knowledge, right? I mean, just because maybe something didn't work and you put up the money, but the lessons you learned in that, if you actually took the time to learn the lessons, you would pay for that knowledge anyways.
Right.
Obviously calculated risk still. I mean, it's not like we just say, let's just go risk something today. It's all calculated. It's all, it fits within our plan.
Right.
Of what we're trying to accomplish. Because that first year, obviously, we just worked a lot. But, towards the end of that first year, we found out you were pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
What changed once Kins was born? I mean, once you became a mom, as an entrepreneur, what changed? Other than now we have a kid.
It felt like a lot to juggle. Because I had no problem like being there all the time, and
we were together.
Right. So it didn't feel like a sacrifice really. It was our whole world. Like our friends and family knew that they had to come there to see us.
Exactly. They came there to see us.
So I don't know. I think it was a combination of being a new mom too and trying to figure that part out. Was way harder than I thought it would be. So just the combination of that, if I had to go back to that phase now, with a 4th baby, but be put in that same situation work-wise, it would be totally different because I'm confident in being a mom. But I wasn't back then.
Sure.
I remember like crying when you would go to work because I felt like I didn't know how to do it. But so I don't know. Yeah, the combination of that but it's not like we had a lot of people we had a couple good ones that did work more while I was like off, but it wasn't like I could just like hand it all over.
Right.
So, I always will remember like when she was probably days old, maybe a week, like sitting in her nursery trying to do my schedule. And she was crying, and it was just like, I didn't know why she was crying. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to get past this.
Well, you worked until the day, you delivered.
Yeah.
I mean, you worked literally.
And
the
I'm
day
grateful
before.
that I could, that I know not everyone can do that, and
Yeah,
it
be on their
really
feet for
wasn't
10
like
hours
that
and
with the second and third. It was much different, but the first time around I
well,
mean,
you
I
didn't have a
didn't know
choice.
any different. Yeah, I
You didn't
didn't
have a
know.
choice. You had to just, we
Right.
had to work. I
Right.
mean, you worked 10 hours the day before you gave birth to kids.
Yeah. But so yeah, stepping out of that was really weird for me because it was the most amount of time I had ever been away
Right.
from work, but there were so many things I still had to do. And I mean, that's really how it is still today. Like, I mean, I can work from home, but it's always a juggle. Like, how much am I really getting done versus like my attention on them? And is it worth the trade off of just not going into work? So, it depends on the child, I think. I was thinking about that on my way here, just how different it was with Cooper.
Yeah.
That he was such a good, easy baby.
Yeah.
Always, he was happy just to have me near him, and he
Mm-hmm.
would play independently, so I could work and I could work out. I
Right.
had a really good fitness run after Cooper was born. So I felt like I could do it all. Like,
Right.
I was like, oh, I got the hang of this now. Like, I can work from home and still be with him, and it's all fine. But then Brooklyn
Yeah.
is not like that at all. So, and I really feel like I'm doing her a disservice by working from home with her because she's not happy. She doesn't have my attention, and I'm not getting anything done, and we're annoyed with each other. So it just depends. It depends on the kid, I think.
Yeah, and I think a big transition we made was intentionally getting it to where you could work on the businesses and not in them, so you have that flexibility. Because, I mean, if you had to go serve bartend for 10 hours a day, that's totally different than you have a list of things you have to get done, but you can do those things once the kids are in bed,
Right.
as opposed to when we're open, right? So, I mean, there's a big difference there. Once you get to, as an owner, making it a goal to transition from working in your business to on your business is what kind of gives you, for lack of a better word, more freedom. But, I mean, use that loosely because we know how that works.
Right.
When you own your own business, I mean, you're available 24/7. But at least if your normal day-to-day tasks are working on your business, and you can do that at any time, then that gives you that flexibility, especially when you have kids, to do that before they get up or after they go to bed, at least.
Right.
But there are certain things that we have to do during the day, or in something that we've both have tried to be more intentional with is exposing them to it, making them have to see us work, or taking them to one of the restaurants or to the office or whatever. I mean, I think that's important. I think that's something we have kind of agreed is important over the last year is, we kind of, we're quick to work around their schedule and not make it, because it is easier, right? It's easier to not have
Yeah.
Brooklyn with us when we go have to run errands or whatever, but that we're doing them a disservice by not exposing them to that, because that's what I remember growing up. I remember having to go with my parents to the pizza factory. I remember having to go look at the properties that they were potentially buying because they didn't have a choice. They had to take me and Josh, or once the girls came around or whatever. So I mean, that's something that I feel like we've gotten more intentional about,
Yeah.
is trying to expose them
Yeah.
to what we do. And I mean, that kind of leads me into, obviously the gym's starting to actually go up now, and that's our big next risk it all project, right? Because I mean, we never go small. We always go every project, the next one's bigger, it seems like. I mean,
Yeah.
restaurant, bigger property deals, then to, a fishing lodge in Missouri, to now a bigger project than that of building this gym from the ground up. And I mean, why? Because I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of transformed over the years having this dream of owning of us owning a gym. But obviously, a lot of people are like, why would you do that? You could literally put it in cruise control and coast through your whole kid's childhood and just do all the things, be at all the stuff. But why choose the gym? Why choose a big project that we know, that you know, is going to take a lot of your time, effort, and energy?
Well, I think it makes me a better mom. I mean, it's not every day, and it doesn't feel like that sometimes, but I know deep down that coasting would not be the best version of me. So,
Agreed.
I mean, you know, I'm not going to say unfortunately, I'm grateful, but the smaller things are not as challenging for us anymore. So it does take something this big and scary to really put it back into perspective, back to those days of we have no choice, we have to make it work. I want them to see that too. I mean, I feel like it's kind of a constant line of I don't want them to think that the world revolves around them.
I think that's so important. I mean, I think the parent that beats themselves up because they miss a couple games out of 20 basketball games, I just think that's the wrong message.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously I've missed plenty of Kinsley's games. I missed plenty of trips.
Yeah.
Because that's the sacrifice that has to be made, and we want to make sure they acknowledge that. You know, we want them to know that that's what it takes. If you want extraordinary results, it's going to take an extraordinary amount of effort. And that's great to the parents that want to make every single thing. That's awesome. And if that's what your goal is, that's fine. It's just our goals are different.
Right.
And we want our kids to see what a grind and struggle looks like because they were too young to see it during the restaurant phase. You know, Kins maybe a little bit, but not really, not the actual 100 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean, to them, they probably think they see some of the problems and the setbacks, but in relation to like what they don't remember, it's nothing.
Right.
And I mean that's really kind of more so what I want them to get from this is like there will be tough times and there will be days that I question why we did this.
Yep.
But they're going to have those days in their life no matter what they choose to do. So I don't want them to grow up thinking like, well, you know, yeah, they grinded and they did all this and they had some problems here and there, but overall, like, why wouldn't you do that?
Mostly their viewpoint right now, Kins being 11, Cooper 8, and obviously Brooklyn 4, it's sunshine and rainbows for the most part. Mm-hmm. And I agree. I don't want them to think that's the way life works because it's not. And because we're in a good position, we can shield them away from a lot of the world stuff, but we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We want them to understand what a struggle is and what a grind is and how if you want to accomplish extraordinary things, you're going to have to be willing to get your butt kicked.
Yeah. And it can be so many different things. Like we're choosing to get our butts kicked like by choice. And
right.
I mean, yes, there will be some things come along that
But there's still a lot of things that are by choice, right? There's been plenty of things that have happened over the years that had nothing to do with any choices that we made, but it's still on us to figure out. That's life.
Right.
I mean, it's 100%.
And that's going to be their life no matter what they choose.
Right.
It could be a health thing or something with their boss or whatever. So those things are mostly I just want them to see us work through struggles, whatever those may be.
Yeah.
And because we are so fortunate and blessed that we haven't had a lot of external struggles lately, like we're choosing to put those into like the challenging our
well, it makes
capacity.
We know that this challenge, particularly this gym challenge, is going to make us better parents, have a better marriage, be better people, better members of society. grow our faith, and those things are important to us. And we know that complacency is when we start to see the worst versions of ourselves come out. When we're not trying to grow, when we're not trying to push our faith and be better people, be better parents. That's when that's when I see myself slacking the most.
Yeah.
Is when I'm not trying to push myself. When I'm not trying to work out harder or work on our marriage. You see that stuff slack as soon as you take your eye off the ball.
Yeah. And maybe not everyone is like that, but that seems to be both of our personalities. So.
Yeah, being intentional with that focus and really trying to put it in, do it constructively. Because there's neither one of us are big hobby people. We both we both put our effort towards our faith and our fitness and being parents. And then it's also all the other things that we have going on, and we like to help people. We want to have a positive impact on those around us. And we just think, we're called, the gym is just that next thing to lift up people.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids are going to grow up around that being a goal. And hopefully that motivates them to do those things too. Or at least they learn something along the way, right?
Yeah, I have no idea what they'll want to do, but
right, but
it doesn't matter.
Just learning that there are purposes bigger than ourselves, because I know personally I've been asked many times, when is enough enough, or why do you keep pushing? Mm-hmm. Well, your version of enough and my version of enough are two totally different things, and B, I just think it's a disservice to God if he has blessed me with certain abilities and talents to just sit by and say, but I can just coast and not have to worry about anything.
Yeah, we both agree on that.
Yeah, no, I know we do, but I think it's important to think, what are you actually trying to accomplish? And we have one life. We have one shot at making a positive impact and leaving a legacy behind. And I don't want mine to be, he had success at a young age and then he coasted the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Do you feel any, I know we've had a lot of discussions about this over the years, but do you feel any guilt for some of the decisions we've made business-wise with our time and things like that, especially when it pertains to the kids? Do you carry any of that ever? Do you struggle with it? Did you or don't now, or what?
I think every mom has some sort of guilt. I wouldn't say I regret anything because it got us here, but there's just a lot of different. There are days that I'm like, I missed it, because we were just so busy that I missed a lot of the days, but I didn't. It's just it was so busy and in fast forward. Yeah. But I was there. I was with them a lot. I know I was still spent more time with them than the average working parent gets to. So I don't take that for granted. But was I really there?
Right.
Is kind of more. And I think Ken's I was not because I was conscious of it, but because we really didn't have that much going on. When I was home with her, someone else was working at Crawford's, but I was still there at night to do all of my stuff. So I wasn't preoccupied all the time. We didn't have a bunch of different, properties with bills and licenses and all the things so I was there and present with her, but still trying to figure out how to be a mom and a lot of other just personal things that it does still feel blurry. But I don't know if that, that might feel like that for every new mom for the first couple of years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have nothing to compare it to. But, I feel like I've done a lot better job with Cooper in Brooklyn as far as, enjoying the moments and knowing that it's going to go by fast, but it goes by fast no matter what. So
It does.
I don't regret what we've done. And if I had to do it over again, I still think, even if I did miss a lot, I still think I would choose to miss it when they're little, when they don't remember, versus now where, getting to take them to school and to pick
Yeah.
them up and to be at most things, they remember it now. Back then they didn't care. They were happy with Callie or
Yeah.
my mom or, whoever was taking care of them. They don't remember those days. So
Right.
I still think if I could do it again and choose, I would still pick the timing.
Yeah, and not just not being there, but I know something I struggle with sometimes is the guilt of, even though I get to be home, for a Monday night, just feeling tired or drained and kind of not being able to give them my best sometimes is something that I struggle with, because it's hard when you have to go from 5:30 a.m. on, and you get to 5 p.m. and you're just kind of tired. And it's usually more mental than it is physical, because a lot of the work now we do is mental. It's making decisions. It's taking care of, putting out some
Problems.
fires, or whatever. So it's just more of a mental exhaustion than it is physical. But that's something I sometimes still struggle with. But, it's just, I want them to know, but that's okay though. They're gonna deal with that when they're older too.
Right. I'm sure every parent, most jobs have days that
Sure.
can be draining no matter what you're doing. So I'm sure every parent feels that way. But I think the fact that you care enough to worry about it, that's usually the sign that you're doing a good job.
Right. I think
care.
most parents probably think, am I doing a good enough job?
Yeah.
Or am I
Teaching
there
them the
enough?
right
Am I
things.
teaching them the right things? Am I, should I really let them drink that pop today? Or what? I know sometimes we struggle with that one on the nutrition side, because Cooper's so picky. But at the end of the day, as long as they can look back and think they did the best they did. I love my parents. They did the best they could. That's what I'm, hopefully. Because that's the way I look at it for my parents. Like, were they perfect? Of course not. Nobody is. But do I think they did the best they could? Yeah, I think they did the best they could.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if we worry about the little things too much.
Sure.
I've been reflecting more lately on like my childhood and my friends and their parents and just all the things I was exposed to. Not like it was bad by any means, but just all the things that if our kids were exposed to that, I probably would be like, oh, I hope they don't learn from that,
Yeah.
But I did it all day, every day, and I don't remember thinking, I didn't know any different,
Right.
But I don't think it affected me long term. So sometimes I think, we try to shield them a little too much, but I don't know. You never know till it's done.
Right. With the gym, we know it's around the corner. It is. It might not seem like it, but we know it is. Are there any things that you're hoping to intentionally teach the kids as those doors open and everything? So, like, is there any, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I am hoping that this industry is one that they could be involved in a little bit more at a younger age. With Crawford's, it's a little harder. Like, Ken's obviously has been able to be there the last couple of years, and that has been awesome. But it's harder for the younger too. Like, yes, we can take them with us if we have to, and they can sit in a booth and watch a tablet. But it's not like I could work an open to close with them there,
Right.
I'm hoping that with the gym, like between, the like kid offerings and stuff, and just like, we already like incorporate them into working out with us and stuff like
yes.
that. I'm hoping that they will actually get to like see the processes that we're doing
Yeah.
more and not just know like, oh, they're at work. Like I have no idea
Right,
what they're
right,
doing.
right. I do think that's easier. I mean, at the end of the day, there's always something that can be swept or wiped off or whatever. So being able to teach them, like get them involved in the gym business, of
Mm-hmm.
doing stuff like that and being present
Yeah.
and taking pride in what they're doing and learning how important fitness is for their health.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can incorporate that just right out the gate
Yeah.
for them and having them there all the time. I mean, we're not going to have a choice. They're going to be there a lot.
Right. But I mean, overall, I think just hopefully we can, be honest and transparent about the problems that arise or the
Mhm.
stresses that come with it. And, hopefully they will see us work through those in healthy ways and pray about it and kind of just get to see some of those like real time situations get
Yeah.
worked through
Yeah.
instead of just like hearing about it later. So I'm planning to try to be as honest as I can
Yeah.
through all of it. I think there were some days when we first bought the gym where it is now, and it was such a rushed experience. And
Right.
obviously like that summer that I had to be there so much was like a shock to them and to me.
Yeah.
So I'm
In all
hoping.
fairness, we weren't, that was a quick process. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a whole month to prepare for that. That
Right.
was, have this anticipation coming for over a year.
Yeah.
So I feel like going to be more prepared. But at the same time, we know we have a lot of stuff to do to get prepared.
Right. But yeah, I'm hoping that it'll go better than that and they will understand like what we're doing and why we're doing it, and they'll get to see it in real life, like bless and grow and just kind of see it blossom from an idea to
To an actual building that was not there,
yeah.
with a
And just-
road that wasn't there and is only there because a few years ago you said, I think we should build a gym in Forsyth.
Yeah.
And I think that's something cool that our kids will know that that's, that area right there, that little area of Forsyth started because you had that idea. And that idea started to kind of grow into what is currently being built right now. Realistically, almost 3 years later from the very beginning of this process.
Yeah.
So it's taken a lot of patience and a lot of work to get to this point. And that's why, people might see just from the outside all the things we have going on. But, to get to where we are on this project, January is 3 years since we had, really had our first serious conversation about this being a possibility.
Yeah.
A lot of time and effort to get it to this point.
Yeah. A lot.
But I'm
Way
excited.
more than we thought.
Yeah, but I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited about
excited
it. And as, for somebody that's never, someone that's listening that has never even thought of being an entrepreneur, but to me, the journey is just the rewarding part and the fun part. For me, there is no top. There's just reaching a milestone. We're always chasing the next thing. There is no top, at least for us. There's just the next milestone, and hopefully we're having a positive impact on those around us along the way. Is there anything else that...
I don't know. I don't think so.
Thanks for coming on, babe. I really appreciate it, and obviously would not be doing any of this stuff without you and how hard you work for our family. And I think it's just really important for people to hear especially your perspective, because I feel like I get asked the questions a lot more than you do, but you are, even in my eyes, even more of the reason why we are where we're at today than I am. So I think you deserve more of the credit anyways. And it's just super important for people to know that whether it's your spouse or your partner, just having somebody else to get through all the hard stuff is just extremely important.
Yes. That. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not the same if it's a partner, but yeah, I mean, we go back to that all the time, that if we didn't have like a great marriage, at the end of the day, that like none of this would be worth it.
Exactly. It
But
wouldn't.
I mean, that is what is important to us, but I just can't imagine like some of the tough days and then coming home to either like being alone or being unhappy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't even imagine what that would be like, but it makes me sad to think about it. So
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful to do life with you.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, babe. I appreciate it, and you'll be back on soon, I'm sure.